You used to feel it, that edge, that quiet confidence that made you walk into a room differently. Where did it go? You can't pinpoint the exact day it left, but you know it's gone. And what replaced it is something you don't have a name for yet. A softness you didn't choose. A hesitation that wasn't always there. You second-guess yourself now in ways you never used to. You start things and stop. You have opinions you keep to yourself. You feel the pull to speak and then nothing. You swallow it. And then later, alone, you replay the moment, thinking about what you should have said, what you should have done. That's not weakness. That's erosion. Slow, quiet, almost invisible. Every time you chose comfort over discomfort, something wore down. Every time you avoided the hard conversation, the difficult choice, the thing that cost you something, a layer came off. Not all at once, just enough that one day you looked in the mirror and felt a distance between you and the man you were supposed to become. And the worst part is, you can't blame anyone else. No one took this from you. It slipped through your hands while you were busy being comfortable, while you were managed by routine, while you let the noise of the world fill the silence where your discipline used to live. The enemy was never out there. It was the version of your life that asked nothing of you. The path of least resistance, dressed up as peace. The days that passed without a single hard thing in them. Because hard things are where strength lives, and you stopped going there. But here's the truth. You are not broken. You are under-tested. There is a version of you that exists, fully formed, patient, waiting, that has never been soft. That version doesn't flinch, doesn't apologize for taking up space, doesn't need to be liked to feel secure. That version was built in difficulty, and the only way back to him is through difficulty. This is not about aggression. It is not about dominance or ego or being the loudest voice. Mentally strong men are not dangerous because they intimidate. They are dangerous because they cannot be manipulated, cannot be distracted, cannot be moved by pressure, opinion, or the slow comfort of doing nothing. That is a different kind of power, and it starts with 6 things. The first is silence. Not silence as absence, silence as weapon. Mentally strong men do not fill every room with noise. They are comfortable in stillness. They listen more than they speak, and when they do speak, it lands, because silence trains you to think before you react, and a man who controls his reactions controls everything. The second is physical suffering, chosen. Not punishment, chosen. When you voluntarily do hard physical things, when you wake up and do what your body resists, you are practicing a principle that carries into every other area of your life. The body learns discomfort is survivable, and then the mind learns the same thing. The third is solitude without escape. Most men are terrified of being alone with themselves, so they fill it. Noise, screens, other people's problems, anything to avoid sitting with their own thoughts. But the man who can sit in silence with himself, who knows who he is without input, that man cannot be shaken by what others think of him, because he already answered the important questions alone. The fourth is keeping promises to yourself, not to others, to yourself. Because every promise you break to yourself erodes trust, your own trust in yourself. And a man who doesn't trust himself cannot lead, cannot commit, cannot be counted on. Not because he's weak, because he's been slowly teaching himself that his word means nothing. Stop teaching yourself that. The fifth is controlled anger, not suppressed, controlled. There is a difference. Suppressed anger turns inward. Controlled anger becomes fuel. Mentally strong men know what they stand for, and they feel something when that thing is threatened. The key is not to eliminate that feeling. It is to direct it into work, into discipline, into the building of something. That is not emotional, that is strategic. The sixth is the refusal to be managed by your phone, by other people's urgency, by the opinion of people who have not earned the right to shape your decisions.
Most men give their attention to whoever asks for it loudest. Mentally strong men give their attention to what they decided, in a quiet moment, alone, actually matters. That refusal is not arrogance, it is self-possession, and self-possession is the foundation of everything. Because here is what no one tells you. The world does not respond to how you feel about yourself. It responds to how you carry yourself. It responds whether you flinch, whether you hold the line, whether you mean what you say. And those things are not personality traits you were born with. They are habits, built slowly, tested quietly, proven in the small moments that no one sees. The moment you stayed when you wanted to leave. The moment you were honest when it cost you something. The moment you chose the hard thing because the easy thing was making you smaller. That is where mental strength lives. Not in the highlight reel, in the private decisions. So here is where you are. You already know what softened you. You already know what you've been avoiding. You already know which version of yourself you respect more. The question is not whether you are capable of becoming that man. You are. The question is simpler and far more uncomfortable. Are you willing to be tested by your own standards? Not someone else's, yours. Because the most dangerous thing a man can become is someone who knows exactly who he is and refuses to be anything less. The only question is whether you're ready to start being that man today. Not tomorrow, today.